Well, in other news, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is still stuck in the ICU after contracting coronavirus, and Foreign Minister Dominic Raab has been tapped as his interim replacement. But what does this mean for relations with Israel? Well, joining us on Skype to discuss is international affairs commentator Tom Gross. So, first of all, what are Boris Johnson's doctors saying?
Well, the good news is that his condition improved, and in fact, he left the hospital about 1 hour ago after spending a week there in order to continue his recovery in the official residence in the countryside for the British Prime Minister. His spokesperson says that he was seriously ill and could have died, and he will have to continue recovery for really for 3 or 4 weeks, but maybe he'll only, knowing him, he'll a workaholic, and he'll probably want to try and go back to work after a week or two.
Right. Now, Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab temporarily replacing Johnson. You know, what do we know about him? Can he deal with the health and economic crisis that Britain is currently facing?
Well, he's already served in 2 cabinet positions, so I think he's up to running the country. But he doesn't have, leadership charisma like Boris. But on the other hand, nor does someone like Angela Merkel in Germany, and she does quite a good job. And I think that Raab will continue to chair the cabinet meetings every morning. But now that Johnson is going to be recovering in a private home, the country residence, I suspect that on the really big decisions like extending the lockdown, he will want to be consulted.
Right. Now, Raab is interesting because his father is actually a Jewish refugee. Does this fact have any impact on his policies? And is he known for his connections to the Jewish community?
Yes, so Dominic Raab is the first British Prime Minister with a Jewish parent since Benjamin Disraeli in 1868. And as you say, his father, Peter Raab, escaped at the age of 6 from Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia, and many of his relatives were murdered in Auschwitz. But Raab himself is not connected to the Jewish community, and he only started talking about anti-Semitism in the context of the British Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn's anti-Semitism. So he hasn't, for example, been to a speaker at the Conservative Friends of Israel events like others in the cabinet. So I don't think that being Jewish has any particular impact on his policies, and I don't think he's particularly sympathetic to Israel, for example. I mean, neither for or against.
Now let's speak a little bit about Israel, and the UK's relationship. Are we going to be seeing any change in relations as a result of this coronavirus pandemic and as a result of the fact that, Boris Johnson is not able to serve in full capacity right now?
Well, no. I mean, Britain's completely consumed with its own problems. There are more than 10,000 dead just from a hospital, and probably many thousands of others who've died in care homes or at private homes. So I don't think there's any particular connection to Israel. Having said that, because they're still heading to Brexit, I think they want to cement better relations with Israel going forward once this crisis is over.
All right. Well, Tom Gross, thank you so much for joining us with this update, and of course, well wishes to the Prime Minister of the